Welcome back to I've Got Something to Tell You with Taylor and
Colleen.
Episode 17.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dang. Going by fast.
So fast.
Before this, Norman came over and he was playing some of the Jodi Arias recording or spirit box session.
Yeah.
Because when we listened back, or no, when we were sitting there, it was reversed. Like it sounded like they're speaking reversed. And so he was putting it unreversed. There has to be a right word. What's the word?
Unreversed sounds right.
Okay. And then we also, because we wanted to test out to see if the his spirit box was still reversed. So we turned it on at my house and some spirits came through. Like
it was a chaotic session.
It was very chaotic. So it might be like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So anyway, what you been up to?
Nothing. I mean, what up? Nothing. Summer House? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're both caught up on Summer House, the latest episode.
Mm-hmm.
We have some opinions and we agree on them. Thank God.
Well, say what your opinion is.
I feel I like Jessie.
I like Jessie too.
And I feel bad for Lexi. I get it. But she's also, there's something a little spooky about her. I don't know what it is, but she creeps me out kind of. I'm just being honest.
I just really don't, from a man or a woman, I really don't like the like, you were wrong, I was right approach to things. Like,
I also didn't like the pitting the girls against each other. That feels like it's her favorite thing to say. And it's like, you put yourself in that situation.
Yeah. And I also don't like when she is saying things like, don't hype the girls up and like that kind of thing.
It's like that's just who he is.
Yeah. And I get it, but I also find it endearing. Like, I don't like if I really trusted my partner, I don't think that would bother me.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe because it's a new relationship.
Sure.
But it's also like we were talking about this before. Like that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows that except for her. And I think she's one of those girls who's like, he's going to change as soon as he starts dating me. No, he's not.
No. Gotta love the person they were before.
Exactly. And don't come for Sierra. I love Sierra.
Love Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like mad when she did. I was like,
her outfit in the scary party.
It's so funny.
Good.
I know. She always nails it with the costumes.
So if you guys don't watch Summer House, maybe we should stop talking about it. But if
we just did a quick little recap.
Yeah.
We won't say anything else.
No, I'm going to say something else.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. So Summer House is known that they do these like wild theme parties. Mm-hmm. And so Sierra always comes so hard in those parties. Like she always.
When she was the toucan.
Like, yeah, like she dresses to
so
the nines.
Funny.
And like she always has a really creative like spin on what she's going to be. And I love that. So anyways, they have this theme for the end of the summer party and it's scary. Mm-hmm. And Sierra dresses as, what is it, the 6'5", like blue eyes in finance.
Yeah.
and she's
like, I get why they act the way they do. Yeah. If I had a thing between my legs, I'd be acting like that too.
She's like, if you don't understand why this is scary, like just look outside.
Yeah. She nailed it.
She's so good.
I know, the context too.
I loved it.
But so besides that, I did go to Universal and that was fun.
Yeah. She brought me a really cute gift.
Yeah, because she really likes How to Train Your Dragons. Mm-hmm. And they have their I know the one in Orlando's open. I don't know about Hollywood or whatever. Mm-hmm. I just kept seeing it everywhere, but I didn't see the actual rides. I just saw the merchandise. I was like, Colleen, because she loves that.
I love dragons. I'm an adult, but I love dragons.
There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so that's been my life. And yeah, I literally, and also my story today is from a book that you gave me from your vacation.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm excited. I was like, just kind of skimming through them. I was like, this one sounds good.
Cool. So. My work here is done. Do I even have to do a story?
Should we get into it, or do you
Yeah,
have anything
let's
else?
do it.
Okay, well,
I'm
Colleen,
excited.
I've got something to tell you. So, in 1885, Charles Rogers moved to Victoria, and I think this is British Columbia, Victoria, or is it?
Victoria? It's in Canada, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it said it on there, I was like, wait, I don't know. To become a greengrocer. After being there for a while, he married Leah, a local. Together, they ran the business, and they did really well on vegetables, but with fruit, they spoiled a lot faster on the journey to Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
Vancouver. Okay. I think I spelled it wrong. That's why I was like, wait.
Island or Vancouver?
It says Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Okay. They began, so since the fruit spoiled a lot faster than vegetables, like they had a hard time selling it, so they started dipping it in sugar and coating it with dark chocolate and just putting it out for sale because they knew like no one's gonna like buy it when it looks like it's starting to get like, you know, a little soft.
Yeah.
And they started selling out within 45 minutes after the store opened. So they basically like created this because this is like 1885, so it's kind of cool. You
Sorry,
cracking open a cold
sparkling water.
So word was spreading around about this chocolate-covered fruit. Even Queen Victoria herself had heard about the fruit and would buy several boxes, and they would ship it out globally to like Europe, everywhere. So in 1903, another building was built to house the growing business designed by Thomas Hooper, at the time a well-known architect. Over a century later, this building is still used today, which I would like to see that because that's an old-ass building.
And I was in Victoria. It's in Victoria?
Mm-hmm.
That was part of our stop.
That
Why
would
didn't you tell me about this before?
Dang it. Future self needs to go back in time to Colleen. It's absolutely haunted, not just by Charles and Leah. Even though they were successful business owners, they were city leaders, and they attended church frequently. They're just very well known in the community. They were not the most attentive parents to their son, Freddy Rogers.
Freddy.
I know. Freddy Rogers was born in 1890 to his very busy parents. He was an only child. Unfortunately, Charles and Leah were extremely busy with their booming business and paid little attention to their son. He wasn't neglected. He had like sitters and nurses like constantly with him, but he just didn't have like their parents' attention. Yeah. And so back at this time, it wasn't unusual for parents to send their kids to the hardware store to pick up things for their houses or farms. Even like explosives, like they would. I know it sounds kind of intense, but
Side story. Side conversation. Have you ever seen the show where it's like I forget exactly where it takes place, but it's like they're basically like sending children out to like go figure out how to do adult things?
No.
Okay. I think it's on I honestly think it's on Netflix, but it is wild. It'll just be like
I want to watch that.
Yeah,
that sounds
just
cute.
Like, it's very cute, but it'll be like, hey, go to the store and figure out how to like buy groceries. But I love the idea of like figure out how to go buy like
explosives.
TNT.
Yeah. They're like, all right, and they just sell it to them. Yeah. They're like, yeah, it's normal everyday type thing.
Kids can handle it.
So they would get the explosives for like removing stumps or rocks from the property. So that's what it was used for, in case you're wondering.
So they say.
So Freddy loved purchasing explosives. He cut them up into mini explosives.
Red flag.
Yep. He would climb the streetcar, which is basically a trolley or a tram, and he would stand in the front, not taking a seat in front of everyone facing him. And he would stand there until people are like, why isn't he sitting down? And then he would light the explosive and stand there holding it while they're all panicking, waiting till it gets to the bottom to explode. And then he'd throw it out the window. And so these people are like terrified because they're like trapped on there.
Yeah.
And it'd explode outside. And then he'd jump off the tram and run.
How old was he at this point?
He was like 14.
Okay.
Little asshole.
I'm imagining a 5-year-old. So.
Oh, yeah. He was either like he was between like 12 and 14.
I'm just
probably.
saying, like, a 5-year-old would be easier to stop than like a 14-year. I'm
Oh,
like,
for
why has
sure.
nobody stopped him?
Yeah. This became something that he just did frequently. So they passed a law prohibiting anyone named Frederick Rogers from using public transportation.
What?
Right? I wish you knew this before you went there, so you could, I wonder if they had stuff like about him.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Sorry.
So his parents tried to address this, but their business always pulled their attention back. They're like, that's just
I
Freddy
love
being
that they're
Freddy.
like passing legislature about their child, and they're still like,
My
but our fruit.
business.
Yeah.
But Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
She needs her chocolate.
Yeah.
They're like, shut up, Freddy. Just kidding. I feel bad. Okay. So when Freddy was 14 years old, he got a little too cocky, and when he was testing out one of his experiments with explosives in the woods, he didn't time the explosion correct and blew off part of his hand,
Oh.
leaving him with what looked like a claw. He lost the vision in... Oh, I put the vision in one of his ears.
That's not where your vision goes.
He lost the hearing in one of his... Oh.
Oh,
Wait, look at the
wait, you
sentence.
gotta say
Hold
it
on.
again.
This sentence is so bad. It says, he also lost vision in one of his hears. I was writing this. I was multitasking.
I'm
okay?
gonna need you to fact check that.
I know. He did, I swear. He lost hearing in one of his ears and sight in one of his eyes.
Cool. We got it. Nailed it.
So,
Hearing and ears, eyes and sight. Sight and eyes.
Yep.
Cool.
In January 1905, at the age of 15 years old, Freddy checked himself into the New England Hotel, and using a revolver, he took his own life.
Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I wasn't either. So, yeah. He was definitely trying to get their attention, causing chaos around town. And I mean, I feel like he did everything he could to get their attention.
Literally, yeah. I'm holding bombs on trains, like...
Having a law passed with your name on it.
Yeah, I don't know what else he could have done.
So Charles and Leah were devastated. They withdrew from all life outside of the business. It just sounds like they already did, but... and they only focused on the business. They stopped even going home. They brought 2 wicker rocking chairs from their home that they left at work, and they would take them down after they were done working and just sleep in them for a few hours and then get back to work the next morning.
Cool. Maybe if you did, like, had the same commitment to your kid.
I know. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't pass judgment so quickly.
No, I mean, like, I feel like they, even though so that happened, but they got even more into their business,
Yeah.
which is so
So
weird.
they just they leaned in deeper to the issue that was the issue
Yeah,
before.
if anything, you'd think you would resent the business, but
yeah.
I don't know. What do I know? So they were never the same. 22 years later, Charles passed away in 1927. The business being too much for Leah, she sold the shop and she received $300,000, which is equivalent to $1.3 million today. She donated all of the money to the church and various charities around town. She passed away in 1958, and she was actually living in poverty. She didn't have any heat in her house. She had no money in her account, not even for a headstone when they were trying to do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So interesting. I feel like she probably, I don't know. It's just like, you don't have the business anymore, your husband, your kid. So maybe.
Yeah.
And she gave all of her money to like, which good for her.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but you'd think if she had ran that like successful business, she'd be able to like pop up another one, you know?
I don't think she wanted to.
Oh.
I think it was too much for her, and like all of that money she just gave away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she was just...
I think she chose to live in poverty.
Gotcha.
Is what I meant to say. So after she passed, the hauntings immediately increased. They had started after Charles passed away. Charles' ghost made himself known by moving tools, tying people's shoelaces together if they stood there for too long.
That seems harmless.
I know. They just sounded like tricksters a little bit. And flinging handfuls of change around the upstairs office. It's said that workers and people shopping there would hear stomping around the upstairs office when nobody was up there. Doors would open and close. Lights would turn on and off. The radio would even turn on when nobody was in the room. After Leah passed, because Leah managed like front of the shop stuff, and her husband did like back of the shop. So
it would make sense that his spirit was hanging out back there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So after Leah passed, the front of the store, which would be what she would normally manage, was affected. Employees would see the chocolates become better aligned and straightened out, almost as if she was doing it herself, like on a regular work day, and being like, "This needs to be straighter."
Yeah.
In the morning, when they would come into work, they would notice the displays would be completely rearranged, which I thought was funny. She's like, "No, this could be better, and you're gonna love this one."
Yeah. You're gonna love it. Trust me.
So one day, a woman tried a sample from the sample tray. She didn't like it, so she spit it into a cup and put it back on the tray. And as she turned around, she felt something hit the back of her head. And it was the cup.
That's amazing.
And she turned around to like yell at somebody, and nobody was there. Like the workers weren't anywhere in that area. So she was just kind of like, "What the hell?"
Leah's like, "Ooh."
I know. It's like, take that. And another time, so Rogers Chocolates began to make, because they only did dark chocolate, dipped fruit.
Gross.
And so I know, well, I like dark chocolate, but they want to start doing milk chocolate because everyone else likes milk chocolate.
Cool.
So in the mornings when they would get in, all of the milk chocolate would be found on the floor like somebody stomped on it.
Oh, so did she not like milk chocolate?
They think Charles.
Oh.
So in the kitchen, it would be knocked off the table when they were melting in the pots. The temperature would be turned too high all of a sudden, and it would ruin it. But what they noticed is that all of the dark chocolate was untouched. And so they reached out to a local historian. His name was John Adams, and they said ghostly walks. I don't know if that was like a ghost tour person there. I didn't look into that, but that's what it sounded like. John Adams.
Not John Adams, the president?
Okay. And he said it's probably because Charles only used dark chocolate, and he suggested speaking out loud and stating that, like, "Charles, you're actually hurting the business, and people really like milk chocolate." And so they did that, and it stopped.
Cool.
And then the last occurrence in the 1980s around Christmas time, what would normally be like their busiest time of year, there was a large mirror that was like 8 feet off the ground. So they would need like a ladder to reach it. Like you couldn't just touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the employees noticed it, and they grabbed a ladder to clean it. And when they got up close to it, they noticed like the handprint wasn't like a handprint. It was a disfigured handprint. Almost like a claw.
No. Oh.
Freddy. Almost forgot about Freddy. Poor Freddy.
What kind? Never mind.
What?
Or is it more like a lobster?
That's what I think they said, a crab claw.
Yeah. So disrespectful.
Sorry, Freddy.
We're not laughing. I just needed to
we are laughing. It's fine. So they cleaned it, and then the next morning it was back. And it kept reappearing after they cleaned it. And they'd have to get the ladder out again. And at first they thought it was someone pulling a prank. And they were all like getting mad at each other. But they figured out it was Freddy.
He seems like a prankster, though.
He does seem like a prankster. Yeah. So yeah, that was the story of Rogers Chocolates. It was kind of short, but...
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, if we go on another trip to Alaska / Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
Victoria's in Canada, but we can go to the chocolate.
You have to.
See if the crab claw is on mirror.
And you also have to look out for the law. I wonder if I like imagine one of those plaques, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Here lies the law of Freddy.
Here lies the claw of Freddy.
The claw law.
Freddy's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So anyway, should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Okay. And we're back.
We're back from our break. All right, Taylor, so I've got something to tell you.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to tell you. So, giving some background on why and how I chose this. Our favorite thing to do is laugh.
Mm-hmm.
However, what's the worst thing that you could do to somebody to make them laugh?
Tickle them.
Yes. So I am doing the crazy true crime of David Farrier and how he uncovered some not just conspiracies, but this whole like empire of a conspiracy within the world of competitive tickling.
What? Okay. I need to hear this.
Yeah.
Competitive tickling.
Competitive endurance tickling.
Like seeing how long you could be tickled for?
Seeing how long you can be tickled for.
That sounds terrible.
It's awful. Yeah. So
that
get
just
ready.
Sounds so stupid. Like watching some of the like,
it's
and
really
like, yes.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
You practice.
Yep. Yeah. How do you train?
You just have to tickle me for 10 hours straight.
Oh my god. Anyways, so it is bizarre, and there's no, for lack of a better phrase, there's no murder. Nobody died. Well, somebody does die, but not by the hands of tickle monsters.
Like they tickled them to death.
Yeah. That does not happen. But it is crazy. And anyways, let's just get into it. Okay, so David Farrier, he is a journalist from New Zealand, and he's super into like off the wall type of like news stories. Like he goes to like UFO conventions. Like have you ever heard of the conspiracy like birds don't exist?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, there's like all like the people that believe that every single bird is not real, that it's actually a like government planted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that was what it was called though, but I've heard that.
Yeah. So like he'll interview people about that. Like the people that are like, you know, there are those women that like are for like pretend mermaids and they're like super into it. Like he interviews like all of these like different
like people that like dress up as mermaids.
They dress
have,
up
like
as the tail, but they like kind of believe that like they're really a mermaid. Like that's the vibe that he loves. And
I love that.
I love him. Like he is so good on all of his social media, but he has a very like dry sense of humor that is I appreciate so much. But you know, the people that are so good at, you know, when you get like a spam email and they respond to the spammer in like this just very like clever way, he's that type of person. And then he has a New Zealand accent. So on top of all of that, he's got a cool accent, which is fun to listen to. But anyway, so he loves like really quirky, like weird stories, and he's always respectful about it. Like, don't get me wrong, but this is the type of stuff that he reports on.
Cool.
He's also just really curious, so he's always looking for like what is the next thing I can follow on. And so cut back to 2014, and David is scrolling through the internet, doing what he does best, and he's looking for the next weird and wonderful thing that tickles his fancy. And so he stumbles across this Facebook ad, and it's for something called Competitive Endurance Tickling. And right away, he's like, cool. Like, in.
That's the next one.
Yeah. Say less. So the ad is recruiting young athletic guys to participate in what is called this sport. So they're very much delivering it.
I like how they have to be athletic.
They're athletes, yeah. They are very clear that, like, this is the other thing. The ad is so great. I couldn't find the exact verbiage it used, but there's many podcasts about this, but there's also the documentary Tickled, which I will talk about that.
Okay,
which is
please do.
It's a really fun watch. But the ad is basically just like, we can tell if you are faking laughing, like, so you must actually be ticklish. And like,
are there people that aren't ticklish?
There are people that are not ticklish.
That's crazy.
So they were just like, you must be ticklish. We want people who are like athletic build, like personal training models, like that kind of thing. And so I feel like you're already getting the vibe of what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ad is recruiting the young athletic guys, but they are very much positioning as this is a sport and we only take serious athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So it says they will be tied down and tickled to see how long they can endure.
Tied down?
Tied down.
That sounds terrible.
So they can't move their arms. Okay, so, and that there are lots of perks that come with this position. The ad promises that there will be free flights to Los Angeles. There's all these like luxury accommodations. Like we're also gonna provide you with like all of this Adidas gear. So like it's a sport.
Because you're an athlete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sponsored. I don't think Adidas honestly had anything to do with this. So like, but just know that they
please don't associate us.
I feel like they have taken themselves out of the competitive tickling game, but they were very much prominent in the promises that this ad was offering to people. And that there will be big payouts for the participants. So on the surface, David is like, this sounds interesting and innocent, like tickling, not so bad, right? I mean, well, no, honestly, terrible, but doesn't sound wrong, you know?
It just sounds like it's weird.
Just off the beaten path. Yeah, like it's just a different thing. So David is like, this is so niche and this is like the perfect underground sport that I can highlight. This is perfect for my next story. So in true David fashion, he reaches out to the company behind it, which is Jane O'Brien Media, and he asks if he can do a story, which innocent question. Hey, like this sounds interesting. I'm a news reporter. He's very well renowned. Like he works for a reputable news outlet in New Zealand. So like no harm, no foul just by asking.
Yeah.
However, the response he gets is interesting to say the least. So instead of getting like a friendly reply, David gets hit with this email that is uber aggressive. And Jane O'Brien Media fires back with like guns ablazing. They write, to be brutally frank, association with a homosexual journalist is not something we will embrace.
Oh my God.
We actively do not want any homosexual journalists participating in our sport. Now, David has not said that he is homosexual.
Yeah.
He is, however, he is bisexual and he's open about that. But like, he didn't bring anything up to them about it. They fired back with that. So clearly they did their research on him. But he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Chill out a little bit. I'm over here just trying to write a news story. He also, at one point, he fires back with like, hey, listen, I like cats, but like, just by liking cats does not affect my journalism abilities. So like, for you to say that just because I'm a homosexual means that that will impact the way that I'm going to do this story, like they don't play into each other. And he's like, so I would, respectfully ask that you reconsider your stance on this. They shoot back saying they don't want to have association because they're actively overcoming like the fact that this is like a gay sport. And so
I would be like, you don't want to have an association with me?
Yeah.
No one wants an association with you.
Yeah. So David is basically just like, okay, well, I was just curious about competitive tickling, so thanks for the personal attack, though.
I got more than enough to write about now.
Yeah.
At least
now. If anything, here's my story now.
Yeah.
So let's look at you, Jane.
Yeah.
So David starts digging into Jane O'Brien Media. And it is bananas. So Jane O'Brien Media, she would find young athletic guys, mostly teenagers or men are in their early 20s, and recruit them for these tickling videos. they'd advertise on Facebook, like the ad that David saw,
Mm-hmm.
or other platforms, and obviously, like I said, promising the big payouts, free flights, all of the accommodations, the Adidas workout wear and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so for a lot of these guys, because of the payouts, like they were all semi into modeling it,
Mm-hmm.
or like modeling adjacent. And so they were just like, well, this is just a unique modeling
Like
gig.
another booking.
Yeah. And so like they weren't against it. You know what I mean? Like, but then
Mm-hmm.
after the videos were filmed, all of the promises that they got up front from Jane O'Brien Media went out the door. And they were also told that these videos and such would not be used for like public displays.
Ew.
That did not happen.
Oh, wait. They told them that it wouldn't be made for the public?
Yeah,
Or
like
that it would?
that it wouldn't be made for the like it was
Oh.
more of like a private video session, which I know that sounds
Yeah, that was weirder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that sounds weird, but I feel like they're like, I've heard stories where like they just have like niche photo shoots and like, well, when they say they're not going to use it for the public, they mean not for like public consumption without your consent. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was kind of confusing, but
No, that makes sense.
But once they filmed the videos, all of a sudden these videos would start showing up online with their personal information attached to it.
Oh, no.
And they would show up specifically on like fetish websites.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, I figured. And so obviously, like when the guys would see this, they would understandably freak out.
That would be horrifying.
Yeah, especially because it has their personal information in it. And it wasn't just like they would post it once. If they like got it taken down, they would post it again.
Well,
like,
also, like, then other people see it, then they share it, and then it just becomes this
it
chain
gets so
reaction.
much worse. It gets so much worse. So when some of the guys would try to back out, like, hey, I didn't sign up for this, take the videos down, Jane O'Brien Media would lose their freaking mind, and they would go like full scorched earth on these guys, like personally attacking them. So the company would send threatening emails saying things like, if you don't shut up, we'll ruin your life. And they were not bluffing. So they would take the videos that the guys were trying to get taken down, and they would send it to the guys' families.
Mm-hmm.
They would send it to their schools, to their jobs, to their bosses, to their coworkers. Like they would find every like personal contact that they could around these guys and send it directly to them. And then they would start making up things about like that the guy was a part of a scam and that he owed us $500 and just like all these like wild accusations about the guys. And so they were just trying to like hit like maximum humiliation. One of the guys in the documentary is a college athlete, and his entire team was sent the video. And then he was trying to get a job as a coach, and they sent it to the hiring person being like, this is what this guy is into. And he also likes doing it to kids. And yeah, so like they were terrorizing these people.
Yeah.
So they were launching these like full smear campaigns. So David is starting to look into Jane O'Brien more, and he realizes as he's like talking to these guys, because he's finding basically I'm going to call them actors. I don't know what, like models, actors, whoever are in these videos, and he's reaching out to them, and most of them don't want to talk about it, but a few of them will. And that's where he starts uncovering all of these, like how Jane O'Brien is attacking them. And so then he starts digging. So now who the heck is Jane O'Brien?
Yeah.
Like he is obviously, David is an investigative journalist. So he pulls together his team. He has a group of researchers, and they start pulling from former employees and all of that from the Jane O'Brien Media Group. And they look into public records, and they find all of these like shell companies associated with Jane O'Brien, but all of them are very much like Tickle oriented. So
it's so weird.
It's insane. But they keep finding this name coming up, and it's just D, like the letter D. And they're like, well, who is this D guy or girl? So one ex-employee reveals that Dee personally picked the recruits, often ignoring their well-being, meaning like they were like the casting director. And
Mhm.
no matter how many people that they had within like the media organization, Dee always had final say on who actually got casted.
Hmm.
They track Dee's digital footprint and find clues leading to a secret networking event for media insiders. And so David's like, well, let's go. And so he brings his like camera crew and stuff, or he has like a hidden camera on him.
Mhm.
And so he confronts Dee. Like he's kind of like in the video, he's walking through the crowd, like trying to figure out who Dee is and all of this stuff.
Mhm.
But Dee plays it cool. He plays off the accusations. And now because David, like, there's like security around him. So, like, David is just like, oh, I'm on to something now.
Yeah.
Like, if this is so innocent, it's just tickling. Like, why you gotta have so many people protecting you? Oh, you scared I'm gonna
Yeah.
tickle you? Um,
Tickle,
so
tickle.
yeah. So now at this point, David decides to turn everything he's uncovered into the documentary Tickled. And so you look like you had a question. Sorry.
No, I was just thinking.
Okay. What were you thinking about?
I was like, so did you watch?
Tickled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so the like his camera, like the undercover camera when he sees him, is that on it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to see
So
that.
he's like taking everything that he's found from like talking to these models and actors to
Mhm.
like talking to the former employees. And now once he finally gets to like interact with Dee, he's like, oh, this is much darker than I thought it was.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's when
I
he
want to
decides.
watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on Netflix. So
Ooh, okay.
um so he starts working on the documentary Tickled, and the film features interviews with the victims, footage of David confronting Dee, as we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a lot more about like the legal threats and stuff that Dee does against David. Like they go in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's no like end to this story in the sense
Oh.
of you're not going to get like closure. It's just that it is so insane and so wild. And when Tickled came out, I remember this because like it was hitting like every news outlet. And one of the podcasts that I listen to, The Dollop, does a story on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're featured in the documentary as
Oh,
well.
cool.
So
wait, when did this happen?
it happened in 2014.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't remember.
really?
Mm-mm.
Well, the end, and I, as promised, there is death because that's what I'm here for. And so Dee and David go back and forth with legal battles after the release of Tickled. However, Dee dies in 2017 at the age of 55 and just leaves behind this legacy of chaos and countless unanswered questions. How many people did he truly victimize? How extensive was his operation? Because this went on for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was doing this well before David found him. So, like, there's just all these, like, unknowns about this guy. And David Ferrier, still of Tickled fame, is still looking into it.
So basically, this guy was like getting these videos of people being tickled and like using them to make money off of them by putting them on fetish websites.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was definitely more into tickle. Like, he was into tickling, is what it seemed like.
I feel
so
like,
he
yeah,
was,
somebody had to be into
so-
tickling. Like, it was just so random.
Yes. And so, like, the whole thing with him was that, one, he was really into tickling. I think there was probably some sexual orientation that he didn't want to admit about himself.
Probably.
And which is, his prerogative. Nobody should force you to do that. But he had some money that he could play around with, and he decided to use it to get some tickle videos.
It's just like some people have that kind of money and like buy a really big house. This guy wanted to make tickle videos.
Yeah. But I feel the operation just kept growing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is the uncovering of the wild world of competitive tickling. Still some unanswered questions, but I very much highly recommend looking into it because it is a crazy story that just, I feel like more we learn about it, the crazier it gets.
Wait, the Jane, was that
Jane O'Brien.
Jane O'Brien?
Fake name.
Okay, so that was a fake person.
Mm-hmm. D was behind everything.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Weird.
Yeah. And there were many other fake names. There was one point where this other lady, I think her name was Deborah, and she starts emailing David, David, the journalist, and she's like, I work for Jane, and like, I'm the head of media communications. You can speak to me about any interest that you have in communication with Jane. However, I can tell you it's not going to go anywhere. And then like later on, she goes, at one point, she goes, I'm Deborah. I'm not Jane.
Just to clarify.
It's like,
it's like he has to remember which woman he's pretending to be.
Yeah. But
that is crazy.
Pretty quick and to the point, but just an insane story that fascinates me. So
I literally want to watch it now. Competitive tickling.
Yeah.
That is a nightmare.
Super nightmare. So beyond the torture of the tickling, they also were tortured like individually with going after them.
That just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So sad too, because it's just like they're probably just trying to make money and then it turns into this big thing. And they're probably like reading it like tickling that's kind of weird. But then they're like, I'll just do it.
They could be kind of into it.
I know. Get a few laughs out of it,
Yeah.
but it's like, no.
But yeah, the videos are absolutely wild because like they are literally like strapped down and being tickled.
So weird.
It's so uncomfortable looking. Like it's.
Wait, I kind of want to. Oh, dang it! I can't look it up on my phone. I'll look it up.
Oh, look it up on my tablet.
Oh, wait, I have mine right here.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's play it really quick.
Cool. Yeah. He's in the documentary.
Who?
That guy that they just showed.
The guy that got tickled?
Yeah. He likes it though.
He's like, I didn't have a problem with it.
Which is fine. Again, you're allowed, whatever. It's good. Good. I'm glad he liked it, but some of the other ones didn't.
Very weird. I didn't realize it was like 3 people.
That's what I was just gonna say. There's times where they like tag team them. Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
There's tag tickling.
I can't.
It's rough,
so
right?
Like can you imagine like going into that being like one of those people that's like, I just need to make the money, and then they strap you in there and you're just kind of like
So I hate being tickled. Like
I do too.
I will wake up from like dead sleep if I even feel like Kyle will sometimes like, cause I tend to sleep with like my arms like all over the place. And
your arms like straight up.
Yeah, just straight up. I mean, at that point I'm asking for it, but just kidding.
You're like right here.
Right. But like all like I don't know, because I just don't give it away. But like the other night, I swear, he touched my armpit like in just like a slight movement, and I went. He's like straight in the air, not even at him, just like at whatever I could. Yeah.
I hate that. I don't like being tickled either. It's like I feel like my neck is really ticklish. Obviously, this area, and then my feet when I get pedicures, when they like like do your feet. I'm always like, I have to like bite my lip or like do something.
I got a pedicure when I was on the cruise, or I got a manicure and pedicure when I was on the cruise. And the lady actually told me, she goes, you're really strong, because when she was scrubbing my feet, I wasn't laughing. Like, no, because I wasn't laughing. And I was like unreactive to it. And she goes, normally people like.
Your foot wasn't even flinching?
No.
Oh.
I know. Is that really cool?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
I do everything in my power to like not make a face and not kick my foot. Like my foot always flinches. Like I'm not gonna kick them in the face, but it'll jerk.
Yeah.
And then my face is always just like they're probably like just so over it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, well, not that I'm signing up for competitive tickling, but I was told I was strong. So maybe I've got some natural
I know, I'm starting
athleticism.
I feel like you've been preparing for this.
That's how you prepare is pedicures every 2 weeks.
I need to start doing that. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just before we started this one, I was like, Taylor, we're just gonna do it, and it's just gonna be one we're just gonna have to talk about because it's so insane.
I know. I'm probably gonna watch that this weekend.
Do it.
And I'm excited about it. Okay, well, anything else? Or are we
are we doing spelling bee time?
What?
Like
yes, we
okay.
are.
I was like, is that what you're asking me?
It wasn't, but I was like, you threw me off there.
Okay.
Okay. So email us your scary stories at
igsttystories@gmail.com.
Yes. And don't forget to rate our podcast, please.
And follow us on Instagram, YouTube, all of the things at
TikTok.
TikTok. Yep, we got it all. Man,
IgstyPod.
you don't have an excuse not to be in the loop at this point.
And rating us.
Yes.
Let's go. We need some more ratings.
Chop to it, or we'll tickle you.
Yeah. We'll send Jane O'Brien after you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to start our own I've Got Something to Tell You tickle team.
All right. Colleen's a pro tickler.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Later.